Hey guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I just want to take a couple minutes to share something because I think this is an important uh, point of discussion right now. This show, 13 Reasons, has invoked a lot of passion and a lot of opinion, right? From a personal perspective and a professional perspective. Whatever your opinions are, I think we can all actually relate to some character or some situation that you saw in the series. And I want to share with you my truth or the lie that I was living in my early adulthood. But let me give you a little background. Between the ages of 8 to 12, between that area, it's all still a little vague, but there's flashes of memory that are just so distinct and vivid. It's like time traveling. And I remember a moment where I did have the thought that I wanted to hurt other people, right? We've all experienced bullying. I'm sure you've experienced it and you can relate to this. You've experienced where you felt where you were probably to the point where you were isolated or nobody else understood what you're going through. Whether you are a child, a teen, a young adult, or if you're around my age right now, you're in your mid 30s or you're older, like this is a part of life. We all experience this. But around that time, there was nothing I wanted more than to feel loved and to feel like I belonged to something. And that's still something that a lot of us want today, right? It's clear through our behaviors and our actions. Back then, I wanted to be loved and I wanted to belong to something. And as I got older, that thing inside of me only grew more and more, right? It's like this desire that becomes insatiable because you're not fulfilling it, right? The wounds that need to heal aren't healing because you're not going through the processes or the steps that you need to be able to get over certain things or let go of certain things. So in my early teens, my late teens, and into my early 20s, I was always projecting or overcompensating for these insecurities that I had when I was much younger. And it manifested into me being very insecure about who I was as a being and not having a core, not having a belief of who I was or an ideal or a projection of what I wanted to become. And I was in just utter chaos mentally. So the only way I was able to really rein that in was because I wanted to be something that people would say or people would be attracted to say, you know what, you were able to accomplish X, Y, and Z, and because of that, I want to be able to better my life. But I was incredibly insecure about myself, and I was incredibly insecure about my body. I've come a long way since then, and I've accomplished a lot, but it's because of my insecurities. It's because of those things that it pushed me to get to the point to where I'm at today and where I continue to always challenge myself. Between the age of 8 to 12, I wanted to hurt other individuals because I was bullied and because I felt so alone and because nobody understood me. I had my own 13 reasons plus 100 more. And it almost got to a point where it would have probably made national headlines, right? This might seem like a little crazy for some people, but if you know what you know that feeling. Sometimes it's indescribable, as it's hard to describe it right now. But you've probably been there. You could have made national headlines. But instead of doing that, instead of taking that feeling of emptiness or loneliness or rage, whatever it became and it manifested into, it changed into wanting to actually hurt myself at one point. And I remember thinking about it, and the thoughts were, well, what is the point, right? Like, if you can't see past what your current experience is, what is the point of continuing on, right? Because you're really in it, and it's hard to get out of that thing. And I have to say one of my saving graces was that I did have support in certain areas. As difficult as it was in the moment of the things that I was experiencing, I did have moments of support, and I chose to highlight those things. And I said, you know what? And I took a stand, and I made a decision at that point. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get through this. There's got to be something better beyond this, and I'm going to make it and I'm going to get there. And I made the decision to not hurt other individuals, and I made the decision to not hurt myself because I knew at some point there was something beyond this that would be brighter. And I knew that I had to be the one to create that because nobody else was going to create that for me. I knew that I was the creator of my destiny. I'm the creator of my story. And at that age between 8 and 12, I said, I'm going to help when I get older, and I'm old enough to do this, I'm going to show others that they'll be able to do the same thing. Because I want to be able to be the shining example that if I could go through this and get past it, you can do the same thing as well. So here I am in my adulthood, and I'm so happy that I made the better decision, right? I made that decision to continue on. But there's so many people that don't make that decision. Till this day, you know, this idea of, for me, the highlight was my body and giving myself a focus. And when I went into my early 20s, it became, I wanted to be accepted as well. And I still struggled through those things of acceptance and love, and more importantly, loving myself. And I learned how to love myself by dedicating time to myself, both mental health and both physical health. Initially when I first got into it, I could say it was for the wrong reasons, but it all worked itself out in the end, right? In the beginning, it was, I want to improve my physical appearance because that's what people would be attracted. That's what they would like, right? And then maybe women would be attracted to me, right? Or the women that I thought that would be giving me attention would make me feel better about myself. Now that's the wrong reason, but ultimately I got beyond that and I still end up working on myself, right? My appearance, because I was incredibly insecure about my appearance and I wanted to feel empowered. I wanted to feel bold. Now I can tell you, now being in my mid 30s, because I didn't give up on working on my mental health, and because I didn't give up on working on my personal development, and I took steps every single day to do that, I can say I feel great about myself and I feel wonderful about myself. Listen, I don't want to take up much of your time, but I felt like I needed to really share this message because there's a lot of individuals out there that may not be sharing something like this. We all have those struggles that we're going through. I made it through that struggle. I made the decision to not hurt other individuals and, more importantly, not hurt myself, right? Because then I wouldn't have a beautiful experience of the friends that I have, of the family that I have, and to be able to witness this beautiful thing that I perceive as a beautiful life, right? If you feel somebody out there can benefit from hearing this message, it doesn't matter if they're a child, it doesn't matter if they're a teen or in their early 20s, or if they're now, right, mid 30s to 50s to 60s, right? I think we can all share that common thread, and I think sharing is what really empowers individuals to be able to take that next step, which is making the decision to move forward. Do me a favor, please share this with everybody, anybody you possibly can, because it can potentially help someone. It can potentially save someone's life. It can potentially allow that person to be able to create focus and to start loving themselves the way they want to and create better meanings for themselves, rather than feeling insecure, rather than feeling lonely, rather than feeling like they should be shameful of their bodies. These are things that we can really get through together. And I want to be able to help somebody out there, even if it's just one person that gets this message and wants to be able to take that next steps towards it. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a beautiful remainder of your day. God bless.